So you love coffee and you drink it often, but could it be the culprit of many of your health concerns? Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 concerns that I have about long term coffee use and the damage that it can have on your body. Make sure to stay till the end because we're going to talk about the most important topic at the very end. I'm Dr. Jake, a naturopathic medical doctor and integrative physician. On my channel, we talk about how you can heal yourself naturally and eliminate your symptoms without harmful drugs and surgery. Be sure to subscribe to get guidance on your health journey. Number one, coffee is high in mold. It's very easily accumulates mold on it. So they put all kinds of toxins on there to keep that mold from going. But what is the problem with mold in general? So coffee's high in mold and all kinds of other foods on there, but coffee especially is really high in mold. So what does that do? So there are a lot of people that are sensitive to mold. It's going to make their immune systems get too overstimulated, and then that's going to cause all these inflammatory issues throughout the body. It's going to affect their joints. Maybe they have joint pain. It's going to affect their gut. Maybe they're going to get IBS, or maybe they get colitis, or maybe more severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis because of the mold exposure in there. It also can affect the brain. So this brain inflammation can cause your focus and your concentration issues, or it could lead to your anxiety and depression because this inflammatory process in the brain can cause these disturbances in the neurotransmitters in your brain. So mold could be a culprit for this chronic inflammatory process. Also, chronic inflammation is related to most chronic disease like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. All these are related to chronic inflammation. So if you're sensitive to mold and you're drinking this mold all the time, it's going to lead to all these health detriments. So it's probably not a good idea to get mold in our daily routine. Number two, coffee is highly acidic. So what's the problem with the food being highly acidic? I'm sure probably many of you have heard, oh, we need to eat less acidic foods and we need to eat more alkaline. So what's the point of that? So when you eat more acidic, that is going to cause this chronic inflammatory process in your body too. And that's going to lead to all those health detriments that I talked about previously. It's also going to bog down how your cells work. It's going to bog down how your mitochondria function and make energy production. So we don't want to be eating acidic foods all the time because of that. And one really big one too is when you have a really acidic body, your body has to compensate and go through several different mechanisms to keep homeostasis. So when we talk about your body's acidic, it doesn't mean that your body is actually acidic. Your body has to go through processes to keep homeostasis, to keep your body at 7.3 or 7.4. If it goes outside that range, you are extremely sick and it's a big problem. So your body's going to work really hard to maintain your 7.3, 7.4 acidity level. So let's say you drink a lot of coffee and it's really acidic, your body's going to then break down your bone and make calcium carbonate, which then you could think about, okay, my bones are breaking down now when I eat all this acidic food, and you're going to release calcium carbonate and your bones are going to be weaker. And calcium carbonate is a alkaline substance, and it's going to make your body more alkaline. So we don't want to be drinking all this acidic food like coffee because it is going to cause all these health issues. Your bones are going to be weaker, and then you're going to be chronically inflamed all the time. Number three, coffee is really high in tannins. So what's the problem with tannins? Tannins, I haven't heard that tannins are a problem. Tannins, the big problem with it is it's going to decrease the absorption of nutrients. So let's say you drink coffee without food, away from food, probably not going to be a big problem. It's not going to decrease your absorption of your nutrients if you do it like an hour or two after you eat. But let's say you're drinking coffee like a lot of us do with our breakfast, or let's say maybe with our lunch or whatever. It decreases absorption of a lot of our vital nutrients, especially magnesium. So we don't want to be drinking a lot of coffee for that reason because it's going to decrease the absorption of our nutrients through the tannins. Number four is coffee is highly processed. It's probably one of the most highly processed foods that we have on the planet. It has to go through so many different processes to get it how we have it when we get the coffee. So if they powderize it, it even goes through more processing. But if they just have it in the bean, again, they're trying to not to make it look moldy all the time, even though it's going to have mold. But to prevent it actually showing the little white spores on there, they have to put a lot of chemicals on there to be able to preserve the coffee. So what's the problem with all these preservatives? They are going to then affect your cells. So it's going to bog down your mitochondrial function. So it's going to lead to decreased ATP, which is energy production for our body. So you could think of this, we're going to be tired. We're going to be lethargic. Our brains aren't going to work on all cylinders. You're going to not be able to remember things as well. You're not going to focus as well. And you're not going to be able to exercise or do physical activity as well because you have pesticides or herbicides or all these chemicals on there bogging down your cells. Also, again, all these foreign substances, all these chemicals that your body doesn't know what they are, get in your bloodstream, and your immune system gets angry and gets hyperstimulated. And it causes chronic inflammation, like we talked before, leading to joint pain, leading to your brain getting inflamed, causing gut inflammation. Then that further causes nutrient depletion. So it's not a good idea to get all these toxins in our body. We already get a lot of toxins from our air quality or from our water supply or whatever. So we want to try to limit as much toxins as we can. And decreasing our coffee intake is one way we can decrease how many toxins that we get into our body. Here's my favorite point of all is that coffee doesn't actually give us energy. It actually depletes our body of energy. So you will feel an increased energy surge because what is happening is that it's going to increase cortisol production from your adrenal glands. Cortisol is our focus concentration hormone. It's our adrenaline hormone. So you're going to feel like you're a little bit hyped up on adrenaline because it's going to leak out that cortisol from your adrenal glands. It also helps increase dopamine and serotonin. So you're going to get that little uplift of that, the dopamine and our feel-good hormone. So is serotonin. Dopamine helps us with some focus and concentration. That's a bonus that we get from drinking coffee too. But it's not adding energy to your body. And if you keep on drinking coffee day after day after day, your body's not going to be able to keep up. It's going to deplete your body of cortisol, which is going to lead to what's famously known as adrenal fatigue. If you keep on drinking, it's going to deplete our body of neurotransmitters, especially if you're drinking this with food and you're getting tannins in there and it's decreasing your nutrient absorption. You're not getting those amino acids you need to be able to make serotonin and dopamine. So it's a double whammy. You're depleting your body's serotonin and dopamine because of the effect that the caffeine has on the brain, but then you have the tannins on board that's decreasing your nutrient absorption. And then you have all these pesticides or herbicides that's causing inflammation in your gut and causing further issues. And then if you're sensitive to mold, that's causing further issues there also. So coffee is not going to be giving you energy, even though you feel like it is. And if you're like any of my patients, you're chronically fatigued, you don't feel really great, but you keep on drinking coffee because it gives you that little benefit. But if you keep on drinking, it's just going to make things worse and worse and worse. What can we do to actually make coffee better? So a lot of you love coffee and you love to drink coffee. So what can we do to actually make it better for our bodies? So first of all, I would recommend at least getting an organic coffee. Organic coffee is still going to have mold, but you're still going to take away a lot of the health detriments from that. Maybe try to drink your coffee away from food so you don't get that nutrient malabsorption that you can get from the tannins. Also, a big thing I like to do is you could decrease your absorption of caffeine so you don't just get this big surge of caffeine in your body. You could add fat to your coffee. So you could add coconut oil, or you could add grass-fed butter to your coffee, or you could add both, which is like called bulletproofing your coffee. And this can really decrease that absorption of that caffeine, and it can sustain that little energy burst that you want throughout the day too. And it's not going to be as detrimental. Also, you could try to get more of a decaf coffee so you're not getting as much caffeine. The big problem is getting tons of caffeine, even though decaf I think is probably a little too much caffeine anyways, but that is still much better. Let's say you get decaf and then you add the fat to it. That's going to be much healthier for your body. But let's talk about, is there alternatives? Are there actually things on this planet to actually give your body energy instead of depleting your body? And yes, we do. So we have Cordyceps mushroom, for example. So Cordyceps mushroom increases the metabolism inside your cells. It increases respiration in your cell more efficiently, increases that efficiency of oxygen consumption inside your cells. So long story short is this is actually helping your cells function better and make ATP. It's not depleting the body of ATP or depleting your body of other substances. It's actually improving your body, improving the efficiency of your cells to be able to make that energy production. Also, what's great about cordyceps is it's an adaptogen. So it balances out your cortisol. It's going to increase your cortisol when you need it or decrease it when you don't need it. That's one of the great things about cordyceps is it has constituents in it that will increase cortisol and constituents that decrease. So it has this balancing act that it has on your body. It also naturally will increase your focus and concentration in your brain and not lead to that depletion of these neurotransmitters that we have in our brain. We have other mushrooms like lion's mane, which is really great for brain health, decrease inflammation in your brain. So that one's really great there and also is good for balancing out your adrenal glands. We have chaga mushrooms that can decrease inflammation throughout your body. And then we have ashwagandha and ginseng. These have also been shown to increase that metabolism effect inside your cells, to increase your body's efficiency to make oxygen. What's really cool about cordyceps and ashwagandha and ginseng is they help improve that cellular function. Also, what's great about cordyceps is that it keeps the pyruvate cycle going. Your body goes through these processes and makes pyruvate, and then that enters into the Krebs cycle, and then it goes throughout the whole cycle to make energy production. But when you exercise, you can promote pyruvate to be shuttled over to lactic acid. And lactic acid is that burning sensation you get in your muscles. So you get really fatigued quickly. So cordyceps can eliminate that lactic acid production and just keep it in the pyruvate form and let it enter into the cell. So you're not going to get that muscle burn up of lactic acid in there. You're going to be able to work out harder and stronger and not get that fatigue of your muscles as quickly because of that. And also through that, you're just going to feel better well-being and natural well-being when you're not building up this lactic acid throughout your body. So I created a product called Terra Brew that contains a lot of these products that I talked about. The Cordyceps mushrooms, the chaga, the reishi mushroom, the lion's mane, has ashwagandha and ginseng. All these things that are going to increase your cellular function, to decrease your lactic acid buildup, to make your adrenal glands work better. So I had a lot of patients coming in to me that were drinking coffee a lot, that were really tired, not feeling good, had autoimmune diseases, etc. And I knew that the coffee that they're drinking all the time was making their condition worse because they were depleting their body. They weren't repleting their body. So I thought for several years, how am I going to create a substance that's going to have a little bit of that bitter flavor, that warm drink in the morning, that's still going to give them that good energy boost that they need. But then it's going to have all these other health benefits to it. So it took me a while to formulate it, but I created Terra Brew, which has all these products in there that taste great. And it gives you all the energy that you need throughout the day. And you don't even get that crash that can happen from drinking coffee or other caffeinated beverages. I put a link below for Terra Brew. Once you drink it, leave us some comments of what you think about it. For more information on how to heal your body naturally, click the next video. Thanks for watching.